So, welcome everybody to a funny thing called business. This is where 4 business owners with over 30 years of collective experience under our belts share the capers and triumphs of running a small business and how we now avoid perilous customer chaos and pitfalls. And today we are talking about delegating dilemmas that we have in our business. So I'm Clare Whalley. Welcome to
Kate Curry,
Darren Langley,
Pete Morgan.
Fabulous. Lovely to see your lovely smiling faces. So let's dive straight in, guys. Talking about delegation, what's your one of your favorite experiences or memories that you've got around delegating? And can I start? So as I was planning for this, I realised, well, I kind of knew it before, I am the queen of delegating. So in a personal life, you know, my kids do all the packing for weekends away and holidays. My husband does all the washing and cooking and buying the food. We have cleaners. And I'm kind of like, oh, blimey, don't actually do anything. This morning, my little boy was calling me lazy because I was just kind of sitting around. I'm like, no, this is delegating. This is just good leadership skills. And it's the same in my business. Anything that I can bat off to somebody else who can do it better and more efficient and faster than me, then I will bat that off. And that's a good thing, right? Is it a good thing?
I think so. I was thinking on this topic, and mine's kind of similar in my former life in kind of corporate world. I got really good at delegating to the team to the point where I'd look at my task list and there was nothing to do, and so I was then having to make myself look busy. You know, like when you're in a job and you're working for someone,
yeah,
you've got to make yourself look busy for the boss. This was kind of, I was in charge a little bit, and I was having to make myself look busy so that the team wouldn't question what I, do. So yeah.
So you got really good at shuffling papers.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and quietly playing Minecraft or something. Anyway,
They didn't have Minecraft in the old days.
Whatever the games were back in the
Tetris.
Yeah, Tetris. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Pete, any good at delegating?
Yeah, you see, I tend to be the delegatee. So again, in my house, I do the kind of the lion's share of the cooking and the cleaning and the washing, and that's it all, which is fine. I have no problem with that. In my business, I have become again the kind of delegatee, the outsourcee for kind of PR agencies and what's the new term is content agencies, who they want to do a podcast, but they just don't want to either train somebody up or do it themselves, to just get somebody else to do it. So I don't know what would happen if I needed to delegate something. I'd probably get all confused and just delegate it back to me.
Yeah, you would.
Who could do that? Pete could do that. Pete, can you do that? Yeah, I could do that. Oh, okay. Well, yeah, that's delegated. I've outsourced it now. That'd be it.
As long as you're not charging yourself a markup every time that you're...
Yeah. Oh, it'll be double time that to work on a bank holiday. Double time. I'll give you time and a half. All right, then, time and a half. I'll take time and a half.
Talk about lockdown madness.
Yeah.
Kate, do you delegate? As a owner should. Let's get delegating.
Well, it's interesting you talking about how you delegate things to your children at home, because I'm not very good at, I don't think I've been very good at delegating across the board, and I've only started doing it in my business in the last 2 or 3 years. But at home, a lot of people will say, right, kids, you can make your own packed lunches for school. But then they go, oh, well, we'll just do it last thing in the morning before we leave. Like, no, don't do that. That could be my anxiety levels going up, and I'll just find myself making sandwiches the night before, just when it's ready. And so it's a mindset.
They know that of you.
I know.
Do
they like trigger points, and leaving things to the last minute like that just stresses me out. So I just do it. It's just easier. But with business, I'm finding that I'm getting a bit better at it now. It's just a mindset shift. And now I'm growing the team with got Shannon and freelancers and contractors as well that all work with me. And it's almost like now I'm starting to say we and us. It's not me and I. And it's sort of changing that language as well. And I'm finding that, that took a bit of getting used to as well, So it takes a bit of, it's quite a big hurdle to get over, I think, that initial kind of, I can trust somebody else to do something the way I would do it, or better than I would do it, usually.
It's a huge mindset shift in business, delegating, because obviously, most of us start out on our own and, it's our babies, isn't it, that we look after, and to hand it over to someone else it's a big, if you're a control enthusiast like me, it's a big thing to get over, but dangerous once you're over it, because it's like, we talk about leadership skills in our house. It's not bossing us. So what do you wish you'd done differently? Well, let's talk about what you wish you'd done differently at the start of your business with regards to delegating.
Yeah, I mean, it's like you say, really kind of doing it sooner, I guess. When I started out, I did have somebody that I worked with, so I've known for a long time, and delegated work to him, and still work with him now, and it's it's been a fantastic relationship. But the difference for me, because I transitioned from that kind of corporate world to running my own business, and as I say, in the corporate world, I was quite happy to delegate to the team and let them get on with it. But as you said, when it's your own baby and it's like, this is kind of a business with my name on it, the fears really kicked in, and it was much harder to delegate.
Was it more to do with that side of it, the control, or the money? Because it was the money for me. Yeah,
a little bit of both. Yeah, definitely. Because you kind of think, I could pay someone to do this, or I could do it myself and keep all the money.
Yeah.
But really, I think it was the other. It was it's having the confidence to actually let someone else get on with it and let them make mistakes, and then help them fix those mistakes, or let them learn the process and that sort of thing. And that's that's kind of the thing I found at the beginning.
Yeah. What about you, Pete? Because your business is a little bit younger than ours. So how do you feel about the delegating? What do you wish you'd done differently?
Because I've had to do it a couple of times when I've not been able to make recording sessions with clients and get somebody else, and there is this kind of almost desire where I was saying to this, I kind of crossed my mind of, well, listen, if they kind of called me and just left it on speakerphone, I could hear that they were doing okay and that they were doing everything right, rather than just going, listen, you've done as much as you can, you've explained it as much as you can, you've met up and you've had a meeting and you've done a phone call and a Zoom call, you've done it as much as you can, you've just gonna have to let it happen. That's been the hard thing. It is, I always kind of equate it to letting go of the side of the swimming pool. It's just doing that for the first time and trusting this other person. That's why you've got them in to do this particular task, and just trusting them to do it right. So, and the client was fine. The client knew it was somebody else. So, everyone was fine but me. I was like, an expectant father almost, in a way, just kind of not pacing around and handing out cigars, but just kind of very nervous as to what was going on in the other room.
Yeah. And what about you, Kate? You've got team members now. Is there something that you wish you'd have done differently or sooner?
There's a couple of things. The first one is I wish I'd enlisted the help of a PA or a VA earlier on in my journey. I mean, I only just started working with one the last 2 or 3 months, and that's after sort of 6 or 7 years in business. I'm like, why didn't I do this before? There's so many things in business that I don't need to be doing. I don't need to be spending hours working out how to schedule all my social media posts. I have to give that to someone else to do. And it's such a relief to have that being managed by someone else. And then the other thing that I sort of wish that I'd understood a bit earlier on in my journey is that in order to feel confident in delegating, it's all about communication. So the person we're delegating to understands what's expected of them and the way that you do things, the way you would like them to do it. And I wish I'd known that a bit earlier on as well. And I'd felt a bit more confident to do it sooner in the journey. And I'd have had a lot more time to just focus on some more important things instead of getting frustrated trying to work out how to do things. You know, oh, God, which app do I use? How do I use it? And, I can feel myself getting angry already just thinking about things like that. But now I can delegate, which is just the most wonderful, wonderful thing.
It is. I completely agree. That was mine as well. Just not delegating sooner for the sake of, you know, working with a VA for a couple of hours, you know, 50 or 100 quid. That's what I was quibbling over in the early days. Not delegating for that amount of money, keeping that profit in and just feeling like, oh, I should be doing it myself rather than just getting rid of it. So I could work in a, you know, more effective way and work in the way that I, you know, doing the stuff that I really love to do in my business. And it's just so mentally freeing to get rid of those jobs that somebody can do better than you. And I recently delegated the copywriting of my new website. And I went and sat in the garden while they were doing it. I sat, you know, enjoyed the sunshine. The kids had just gone back to school, you know, after lockdown. And I was like, yes, this is what it's all about. Just enjoying a little bit of downtime while someone else is doing the work. So much better than I could do it as well.
Is your business just smoke and mirrors then, Claire? Is it that, are you just like a figurehead and that somebody else is doing everything?
That's all I'm doing all day. Get on with it via Asana. See, the smarts are catching. In one sentence, share what you've learned about yourself or your business through delegating. Darren?
Well, then I'm probably more of a control freak or whatever the term was used earlier.
Control enthusiast.
Control enthusiast, that's the one. Then I think I am, because I'm, you know, I am more precious about stuff than I think I, you know, that I think I am than I think I should be. And so, yeah, it's kind of learning to deal with that and be a little more relaxed and let someone else get on with it. And it's not a
so
sentence.
how do you do that then, Darren? How do you come away from that control enthusiast to be more relaxed when delegating?
Well, one of the things that I've learned recently, and I think it's kind of the critical thing that I'm still adapting to, is having the process in place. And this is something I've learned from you, Claire, I think, as much as anything. You know, if you've got a process, then you just kind of hand over that process to someone else. They follow the steps, you know, they get to the same result. So having a process in place allows you to kind of have confidence that they're not going to kind of veer off into some parallel world of building websites in a way that you've never, you know, you've got no control over. So yeah, that having a process is definitely, I think, the key.
That's good advice, isn't it, for our listeners? If you're in a business and you're scared of delegating or fearful of it, put the process in place with steps, and then it's easy for someone else to follow, and it helps your control enthusiasm stay intact as well. Pete, what have you learned about yourself and your business through delegating?
I mean, again, kind of similarly, it's something I should have done earlier. I think I'm on the verge of looking at getting a VA for some of the admin stuff, because as the number of clients grows, the amount of admin grows, and the amount of time that takes up in your week grows, and it's now getting in the way of other things. So I think just doing it earlier is the thing that I should have done. And the only thing that's in my mind of
I can sense some resistance.
Is how do I keep a check on what they're doing, instead of just going, you know, trust them. If you find someone that somebody else has recommended that's good at what they do, just trust them and let it go. But there is that thing of, oh, if I get them to do that, I wonder if we could have like a spreadsheet or something, so I could just keep a check on everything that they're doing.
This is where you use the systems that we've got, use technology. So lots of free platforms. I use Asana, to track, share tasks, keep updated, create deadlines, so that you've got a platform where you're sharing all this work that's being done. So use the technology that we've got.
Yeah.
Or just sit behind them as they're doing the work and just
that's it.
Breathing.
Yeah.
Oh, you don't want to do it like that.
No, you don't even need. You just kind of go.
Oh.
Yeah. Just tut in. Yeah. Or the occasional. Oh. And that's it. That's all you need. Just enough to unsettle them.
Hey, what have you learned?
I judge most of my sort of success in life on how happy I feel all the time. That's my sort of scale. That's my scale, the Kate Happy scale. And I've noticed that with processes in place and people to delegate to, I'm definitely a happier person. There's more space in my head to think. Because if I've got too many hats on, I get a bit sort of Homer Simpson. I just get a bit really easily distracted. Ooh, an email's just popped in. I wonder what that says. And then whatever task I was doing at the time, just gets forgotten about. It's really difficult to stay on task. But if I've got somebody helping me with my accounts, helping me with the marketing, I can just hand that over. And that's, 2 or 3 less hats that I've got to wear. So, and it just makes me a happier person because of it. Because, nobody wants too many things to do and too many things that are outside of your skill set as well, I think,
and presumably it makes you more creative in your business as well. You come up with more ideas and.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, because I don't want to be doing, too many spreadsheety things or some of the stuff that if it doesn't really interest me, I do just switch off a bit. And it just doesn't get done properly either. So yeah, just bringing somebody in to do all the things that I don't enjoy and I'm not good at just frees me up to be a much happier person, and then everybody benefits.
Yes, absolutely. For me, it's I've read The Big Leap by Gay Hendricks, really great book. He talks about working in your zone of genius, working in your superpower. So for me, definitely through delegating and outsourcing some of my work just means that 95% of my time I'm just working on stuff that I love to do. And of course, this is what we set up our business for, isn't it? To, whatever it was, to just do that, not to spend all your time on scheduling and spreadsheets, like you say. If it's not your bag, if it's not what you love to do, then delegate, get rid of it. The biggest challenge you have right now with delegating, Pete, what's your challenge?
It's working out what to delegate. So one of the things that I do for my clients is every 2 weeks, I give them a statistical update as to where their podcast is.
Yeah,
and
I like it.
And it's a few hours of my day putting together those things. And a couple of times I've thought, I think somebody else can do this. But my challenge is, they wouldn't be able to put a comment on an email like I would. So I don't know whether I get them to compile it and then send them to me, and I quickly look at them and go, okay, yeah, things are going well. And that's what I put in the email. So I don't, that's probably my challenge at the moment, of what to which degree do I outsource that?
Oh, see, I just want to go into coaching mode now, Pete. Having to hold myself back. But you've got the answer there. That's what you need to do. Create a process. This is what you'd comment on. And after 3 months, that VA or whoever will get the vibe of you and start to see how you would comment. And eventually you'll just be able to outsource it all.
Okay. By the next episode, I'll have got a VA. There we go.
Brilliant. Kate, what's your biggest challenge?
Yeah, I think I need to do more delegating. And as part of that, as we've sort of already touched on, it's just getting those systems and processes really solid and really that you can trust that they're going to work for you. So I'm currently working on those at the moment, but it's a lot of it's trial and error. You have to try things. Or, oh no, that doesn't work. Let's try something else. And but I feel like I'm getting there with that now. And now, because obviously we're starting to get busier, we're coming out of all this the other side of the weirdest year ever that we've had, and you know, I'm getting more client work, more creative work, and so now that has got to be the sort of part that needs to start getting delegated to make sure that we can get through the, you know, honour all our commitments and serve our clients as well as possible. So yeah, it's like delegating the creative side, which I'm finding probably the hardest bit of all, because that's my thing that I love to do, but you know, that needs to have a team now working on that moving forward. So it's like, all right, how does that work? And I'm going to be more controlling over that bit than any other parts of the business. So I don't mind doing the marketing, the social media scheduling, all that kind of stuff. No, that's fine. I don't want to do that anyway. But the creative bit is, you know, how do you get people to do things the way you would do it, and making sure that that works solidly as well.
Brilliant. So this is a good challenge to have, isn't it, in business?
Yeah, it's growing a business, isn't it? And what is that next step and the next stage?
Darren, what's your biggest challenge?
Yeah, well, I think it's one that I'm hoping is coming to an end, and that's the kind of remote delegating.
Yeah.
I am one of those people who still likes to sit in a room and be able to have a conversation and lean over and say, oh, you know, there's this and there's that, and point at the screen and those kind of things. And I know that, like, we live in a kind of a world where there's lots of websites you can hire people, particularly for doing website related tasks, and you can hire people from all around the world, and that's all wonderful. But I'm still kind of old school and prefer to sit in a room and be able to do the delegating that way, or teamwork. You know, it's kind of, that's the thing. And I've missed that over the last year, where we've had to do things via email and Zoom, and from a kind of collaborative point of view. So yes, I'm hoping that challenge will be drawing to a close, and we'll get, you know, everything's going to be a bit more how I like it.
Yes, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Do you want to know what my biggest challenge is? It's kind of a secret, guys. Secret. My biggest challenge is enjoying the time off once I've delegated, because I worked in corporate for 10 years, and, you know, proper 9 to 5, you did not leave your desk until it was 5, not 1 minute to, it had to be 5. So that is just ingrained in me. So, you know, when I've delegated the work and perhaps I've, you know, cleared everything off my desk, then I'll be like, oh, I can go and do something nice myself now. But that feels really hard. And especially now I can hear my little boy going, lazy mummy.
Does it make you feel guilty then, having that time, having suddenly finding that you've got, you know,
yeah,
is it ingrained into us as business owners that we have to be working flat out all the time?
Yeah,
I think it is.
You don't
get guilt.
You know,
No, well, this is what we've set up for, isn't it? So we can enjoy time and space.
Yeah, there is definitely a fear that, you know, I'm sitting there watching, you know, Homes Under the Hammer or something, and thinking I probably should be doing some work of some sort. But no, it's all under control. It's all been delegated. It's great. So yeah.
You see that now we know when we can't get hold of Darren at 10:30 in the morning. That's why. He's just watching Homes Under the Hammer.
Brilliant. So what are the silver linings with delegating? Let's focus on all the lovely positives. Pete, what's the silver linings? Well, you're at the early stages, aren't you? So
yeah.
you see would be the silver linings with delegating.
I think it's probably the chance to look at something else within the business. So if I can get rid of the admin that needs to be delegated, needs to be outsourced, then what that would do, you know, because I'm of the mind of nature abhors a vacuum. So if there's space, you fill it with something else that needs doing within the business. So it would probably become like a marketing thing. And it would be like, right, okay, there's going to be new ways of marketing the business, and think more about that. And I think that's one of the things that's tipped me towards, you've got to do this, because this admin that you're doing is pushing out other things that need doing. You know, so
well, like we've said as well, Pete, it's pushing down your creativity.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, it is. The creativity is, and like Darren said, certainly during the lockdown, it's been nowhere near as prevalent, and it's been a tougher ask to be creative for clients when I've not been out. You know, there was months when I didn't even go outside the front door, never mind meeting people for coffees or walks and things. So,
Kate, what are your silver linings?
Oh, now I've discovered the power of delegating. I can just see the opportunities ahead that, you know, that can unlock for a business that you want to grow. So for me, it's about growing my business by bringing people in to support that growth, and the right people doing the right jobs. So that's what excites me about delegating. And although I like the idea of sort of batting it across to somebody else, it's about a collaborative approach for me. And although it's like delegating to somebody else, it's still, you know, I like just to feel like I'm working together with other people and pulling in the same direction. So yeah, it's all about growth for me. I'm excited about what delegating means for me as I sort of take the next step up with the business.
Brilliant. And we have to remember as well, you know, there are people who we're delegating to. If you find the right person, they absolutely love the work that you're handing over to them.
Yeah, that amazes me. I'm just like, you're really happy about this. Are you sure you want to do it?
Yeah, they love it. So, you know, we're making ourselves
stuff like, oh God, they drive me mad to sit and do that all day. And like, you look genuinely pleased that I'm giving it to you.
Yeah, so we're making ourselves happy, and we're making other people happy by delegating. Darren, what are your silver linings?
I mean, for me, it's getting people in who have new ideas, you know, better design skills than I have. We have a designer who works for us who, you know, comes up with fantastic ideas I'd never have thought of. And some of the developers I work with come up with new ways of doing things, better solutions, you know. So there's only so much that you can kind of have in your head, particularly as a business owner, in terms of innovation and ideas and executions, and having other people around you to be able to delegate to, and they come up with something that you'd never have thought of. It kind of blows your mind and kind of makes you, well, it gives you a sense of pride. I'm proud of the work that we do, and that the ideas that come out of having other people do them, and, you know, being able to take credit for them is fantastic.
I love that.
Yeah, one person doesn't have all the answers. That's the sort of lesson, really, isn't it? You can't possibly, you know, have every answer to every problem in your business.
No. And that's what it is for me as well. You know, I've got somebody who helps with my marketing and PR, and then I've got a, you know, business manager. And, you know, I'll have a big list every month for our team meeting. But on the odd month, I'll come along and I'll be like, oh, I haven't got a lot this month. But between us, it is always so inspiring. We always come up with so many great ideas. It's you know, a really fun couple of hours in the business when we come together, and it's just so good to be collaborating and having other people's ideas and input on you know, your business. So it's only good. So let's get delegating more. Let's show off our leadership skills, guys. Let's get them kids making their sandwiches, Kate.
Oh. Yeah, I'll try.
Okay, So thank you for all your input. For our listeners, please share, subscribe and review so our fellow business owners can enjoy, be inspired and always keep focused on the fun side of business too.